guys, today we took our physics part 1 test. Part 1 implies there will be part 2, and we'll start that next time I see you. If you were absent and didn't take your test, you need to contact me as soon as you can so we can set up a time for you to do that. The email is best. You can also contact me on Remind or through Google Classroom. Okay. For your test, remember you can use your science notebook, so everything should be in here, totally filled in, perfect. I keep my file up on Classroom of like a digital version of my notebook, so you can always look at yours and make sure it's up to date. Okay, but let me go ahead and show you what we did after the test. Okay, so you'll see there's 2 Edpuzzles to do. All right, so click on them and you'll see the links there. That's pretty straightforward. But the graph games, okay, when you click on this link, when it decides it wants to open, good times. Here is what will pop up. Okay. So you'll see that you have a giant graph. Notice the distance versus time graph. Distance is on the y, time is on the x. Okay, so distance over time is actually speed, is what we'll be talking about next time I see you, and motion graphs. So notice, when we go back to puzzle 1, okay, this first line is totally flat. And when it's flat, it means the distance is 0. Okay, so notice this is puzzle 1. I've got kind of a reset button and then a forward and back, like you just saw me click through the different puzzles. And it says you can move the stickman below, right and left on the number line. So you've got 0 to 6. The objective of this game is to get as close as possible to the graph shown on the left. Time starts when you first move the stickman. Okay, so notice it only goes from 0 to 6, and this corresponds to what is on the y-axis. Okay. Well, this first one, he's not really moving, but they told me I have to click him to start. So I'm going to click on him and just barely move him to get it going. And you'll see the blue line is starting to overtake the red line. Okay, so time is passing, and apparently I'm hitting on target because look at my score go up. I'm racking up points. The first one's pretty straightforward, but that's all you have to do is just click him enough to get the stickman moving. Okay, so this is puzzle 1. I'm going to show you how I want you to work, write down what you're learning in your science notebook. But let me go ahead and show you puzzle 2 so you kind of have a better idea about what you're going to be doing. So I'll click forward to puzzle 2, and notice now that the line is sloped upwards. It's a straight line. Now mathematically you may not have covered slope yet. Alright, so we're really looking at this, kind of playing around with the stickman here to get it conceptually, even if you haven't learned how to calculate slope quite yet. And that's good so that you can use some common sense to help you make sense of your graphs when you see them. But I see that as time passes, my distance is increasing. Okay, so not a straight, straight up vertical line and not a flat line like previous. Okay, so the first couple times you do it may not work out so well, but that's okay. That's why we have this glorious reset button. And so I've done it like 4 times, and even still, my stickman and I, we're trying. So you may have to do it multiple times, and that's totally normal, right? So maybe my pro gamers out there have better hand-eye coordination than I do. But you're going to move the little guy. Oh, I started off strong. Okay, I'm going too fast. Slow down. And I'm trying, not too shabby, look at me. I'm going to start bragging and go bad. I'm trying to match my line as much as possible. Okay, so I'm not totally embarrassed by that. But notice I'm trying to match my blue line to the red line, and I do that with my motion of my stickman. So ideally, he was going at a steady pace, unlike my blue line. Okay, so I know that that straight line means that he's going at a steady pace. Okay, so keep that in mind. Notice this is my score, and if I think I can do better, which I know I can, but I'm not going to spend your video time doing so, I'm going to hit reset, and I'm going to try again and see if I can beat the score that I got. Okay, so what that translates to is that in my science notebook, and you can look at my science notebook file to see the whole page, but essentially I just fold it in half, and I've numbered it 1 to 6 and 7 through 12. Okay, so I'm not worried about the numbers per se. I just want kind of an overall look at these graphs. So I just did a quick one. I didn't even use a ruler, which is super chill for me. Okay, so I just did a quick sketch of the XY axis. I labeled little d for distance, okay, little t for time. capital T in science is for temperature. All right, so let's go ahead and start learning to write it the correct way. And then I took my red color and I drew the line that was on the screen. Okay. And then when I finally, let's say I'm finally satisfied with my score, I'm going to write that down and I'm going to make a note of anything that I observed or noticed or clued in on when I was trying to match my graph. Okay, so I noticed that a flat line means he's not moving. All right, but then I could go on to 2, do the same thing, but, sketching my graph, distance and time, and I don't have a red right in front of me, but I will scrounge for one. And I'm going to make that diagonal line just like it looks like on the Graph Games website. Okay, and I don't remember what my score was, but that's okay because I would do it again because I know I could do better. I'll put my score and I'll make a little note that this straight line means a constant speed, like I moved him at a constant rate, okay? Or I should have. Obviously my blue line wasn't, but I'm going to try again. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for, is that you sketch the graph you see, try to get the highest score you can, and anything you notice about what the graph looks like and how that translates into the motion of the stick figure. Okay. There you go. And you'll click through and there's lots of different ones, so you can kind of see what they translate into. Okay. And once you get to that skill in math class, all better for you because you'll understand it conceptually. Okay. So remember, here's the setup in my science notebook file. So I just fold it in half. 1 through 6, 7 through 12, give you plenty of room. And when you're done, you can watch the 2-odd puzzles. That's it. Make sure that everything's turned in, up to date. Humor me and look at your brain pops and double check that they're 100% done. Some people have started them but not actually finished them. And as always, email me if you have questions. Thanks.